Hello everybody and welcome back to Extra Holiday Games. I'm Extra Holiday and I did it again. Somehow I died in the first screen again. It's look, I'm not proud of it, but it happened. So it's not great. Not great. Bam. Okay. What kind of bugs me, and it doesn't bug me while I'm playing because I can't really hear it, but what does kind of bug me about this particular part of the level is that you have two songs playing at once. And I really just cannot handle when that happens. Just like anytime I hear two songs playing at once, I'm just like, oh God, please make it stop. Like it is. I would make a terrible DJ. Although I guess they might listen to, well, no, they definitely have to listen to both songs at once at some point to sync them up. But yeah, I'd make a terrible DJ, specifically because I cannot handle listening to two songs at once. It just does not work for me. But it is something that I have to do when I am editing these episodes. Yeah, specifically now. It's, like I'm just barely hearing it now, but future me is probably cringing. just gonna say. Okay. God damn it. I'm annoyed. That's the other annoying thing about this level is fucking snowball. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. And good. Although that was never really the hard part. So I don't know why I'm congratulating myself there. Maybe I just need to pick me up. This level kinda starting to get to me. Fuck. I love the premature fireworks. It's great. Okay. I'll just stand right here and die. Cool. How many more episodes do I spend on this level? Take a guess. Take a guess, because I do not know. And I'm fairly certain the next level isn't going to be any easier because it's a castle level. And those don't tend to be particularly easy. Or it's maybe not a castle level, but it's definitely a boss level. It's the last level of the world. No. What I was trying to do is I was trying to jump and then press the run button so that I could move faster through the air, but it didn't happen. No. So this next session of D&D should be pretty fun. See, it was going to go. It's something that it's interesting, right? Because I actually had this whole quest, the quest that my players are kind of sort of on right now. I mean, they can ignore the rest of it if they want, but the quest that they're kind of sort of on, I hate that. I hate that. I hate that if you pull late, you lose. Anyway, D&D talk. Yeah, the quest that they're currently on, kind of, sort of. I guess it's kind of like a quest in like a open world RPG where you can just kind of like ignore it and go do other things. Because it is kind of a side quest, I guess. Anyway, point is, the quest that they're on was going to go a certain way. And I had that way planned out before even the last session. But then, I just had a really, really neat idea. And it was inspired by some of the things that they did during that session. And so, you know, it was not long after the last session that I thought it up, and I just got really excited because I think it's a really good idea. It should be really fun and really cool, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see it happen if it happens, because there's a chance that it doesn't happen. Because my players may just fart around for a while, in which case it won't happen next session, but it might happen the session after. Okay, I think I have to be crouching when I throw. That is weird. But yeah, it might happen this session, it might happen the next session after, or it might not happen at all because they might just ignore the rest of the quest. Which I don't think will happen, because I feel like I'm influencing my players too much. But I did kind of let slip to one of them that there was a lot of stuff that they missed in the last session, which is, you know, what I expected. But, you know, telling that to a player means they're probably going to think like, oh, well, I should... And he actually kind of said this, but telling that to a player makes them think like, oh, well, maybe I should be, not rushing through as much because I don't want to miss stuff, and I don't want my DM's work to go to waste, which, to be clear, I expect, I've been told this by various online sources, and I fully expect that 90% of the work I do isn't going to be seen by the players, right? And that's part of the reason why I wanted to make Euralia a living world. I don't know if that's actually... I don't know if anyone's actually considering that an official term, but I think it's a good term. Essentially, what I'm saying is I wanted things to persist between games, specifically because I knew a lot of the stuff that I was going to work on wasn't going to be used in one campaign. You know, if I were making a different world for each campaign, or doing like I did before, running a 90 session campaign, it wouldn't have there'd be stuff that I'd work on that would actually just go to waste, where I'd plan it all out, and you know what, maybe I'd reuse it, but also there's a chance that it just wouldn't happen. Nobody would ever run into it because, well, there's only one group that could run into it, and they just walked on by. Okay. Hold on. I'm just gonna die real quick. So yeah, that's why I wanted to make it so that things persisted even when the players weren't there. Because that means that, a new set of players, or the same players in a different campaign with different characters, could go back to that place and actually run into the stuff that I had worked on. And that's... So yes, 90% of the stuff I work on isn't going to be seen by this group in this session, but it might actually come into use later, which is a neat idea. That's part of one of the things I thought was neat about the way Arcadum does his campaigns, at least the stream campaigns. So, yeah, I think I don't feel too bad about putting in a lot of work into stuff that potentially isn't going to be seen immediately. And I also just lost my train of thought. That's what just happened. I don't know. Living worlds are cool. I also like the idea of players potentially running into each other or running into past versions of themselves. I think that's pretty neat. I like making things in general, in case, you know, this series wasn't clear enough in how much I've talked about my levels. I like making things, so, you know. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I've talked before about how I want to be. Someday I want to just be a player, you know, and not a DM. But I really do like DMing as well, because it gives me a lot of control over. It allows me a lot of opportunities to just make stuff, you know? And I think that's really cool. And I enjoy having that privilege. Alright, so here's the last section of the level. We're gonna make it this time. No! Okay. I wasn't sure exactly how far the snowball was gonna go upward, so I didn't think to jump until it was too late, and that's unfortunate. Going back to D&D, I do actually still have stuff to do before the next session, because, yes, basically, the way I've thought about it to myself is I've basically got the 10% that they will see done if they do exactly what I plan on them doing. Like, if they take one specific path, then I have a session's worth of material. But now what I have to do... Oh, and this reminds me of the other reason I liked the idea of a living world, is I like the idea of a player feeling like they can do anything that they want. Because it's some of my least favorite moments from playing D&D myself, and also from DMing, is when it felt like the DM, or me in the case of when I was the DM, when it felt like the DM was railroading people, or the players, in a certain direction. Like, okay, I'm basically telling the players, okay, you have to do this because this is all I have prepared. And so yeah, I don't want to do that in my campaigns nowadays, because it's not as fun as, you know, being like, yeah, you know, you want to go into that house and, you know, beat up the children in there? Okay, I guess you can, but that's gonna, right? Like, what I've been telling my players, or at least trying to tell them, I don't know if it's sunk in yet, but what I've been trying to tell my players is that you can do anything you want, but there will still be consequences, right? I've had, you know, some of my players have talked to me quite a bit about You know, like, oh, could I do this in this scenario? And I'm like, yeah. You know, or could I do that in that scenario? And I'm like, yeah. Basically every time, well, every time they, you know, they're like, well, what are my options? I'm like, basically everything. And that's how I'm trying to design it. You know, that's how I'm trying to design this campaign and the next campaign and hopefully every campaign after these. Because I think that's the most fun way for things to be. You know, and that was... I keep going back to, you know, what I liked about Arcadum's stuff, but yeah, that was another one of the things I liked about what I was watching in his streams, was that, like, just this idea of, yeah, you can do whatever you want. You're not limited to what the DM has planned, or what, you know, the one thing the DM might expect you to do. Okay, that time the wind blew me off of the snowball right when I tried to jump. So, alright. Yeah, this... The idea that, you know, D&D is a game of limitless possibilities is a very cool one to me, and I'm working very hard to make that a reality. It is a lot of work. Especially like, because unlike Arcadum, I haven't been doing this for 20 years. Or, well, okay, he's only been working on Virum for like 12, but that's still a lot longer than I've been working on Aurelia. Because I've been working on that for less than a year. I haven't even been playing this system for more than a year. So I don't exactly have all the resources that he has. One thing I feel like I need to do is I need to take all my stuff that I wrote in Word and transfer it over to OneNote, because that seems like... That seems significantly more convenient if I can just link one document to another. That would be great, especially for, like, lore stuff, where it's like, oh, I can just click on this character's name and it'll take me to the description of them and what they did. And, you know, when previously I was reading things about a certain town or something, you know. It seems like a nice way to keep things organized. Alright, folks. Alright. Oh, but I guess we can talk more about D&D next time. 'Cause, as for this episode, that's a wrap. Is that 3 times now I've gotten super close?